Mayo.
Hi, Amy.
So guess what we're going to do today?
What?
I am going to teach you about some different traditional Mexican street foods.
Ooh.
So in Mexico, it is very common to have a lot of outdoor markets. People like to shop for anything from their produce and their fish and their meat to purses, shoes, clothes. You can find these huge, beautiful outdoor markets in Mexico. And of course, people like to eat while they're shopping, get hungry spending all that money. So Mexico really has very popularized street food and handheld food. So I thought I'd show you today 3 different recipes for some handheld snacks that maybe you guys would like to try today on Cinco de Mayo and celebrate the country of Mexico. What do you think?
That's awesome.
Okay, cool.
What are we going to start with?
We are going to start with tostadas. So tostadas are basically these corn chips here.
Okay.
So they just are big, flat, round tortilla chips. They're crispy corn chips. Now these, of course, as you can see, easy to transport, right? You can hold on to one of these, walk around eating it. Traditionally, these start with a layer of some refried beans, which are really yummy. Then they put a meat on top. Today I have some grilled chicken for us. And then also they are usually topped with a queso fresco cheese. This is a fresh white cheese, kind of similar in texture to a fresh mozzarella ball.
Okay.
But the nice thing about this is it crumbles when you, just manipulate it with your hand, just crush it. It crumbles kind of like into a feta, basically, how feta crumbles are. So if you wouldn't mind crumbling up that queso fresco for me.
Of course.
And while you do that, before we put these tostadas together, I'm going to show everybody how to cut an avocado, because avocados are typically used on top of these tostadas too. And there is a good trick when cutting an avocado. So I will do that right now. So everybody, here is a avocado. You probably know that the skin cannot be eaten on the avocado, and there's also a big pit inside. It's a ball inside that's the seed. The best way to cut an avocado and to remove that, take a nice sharp knife, chef's knife, and you're gonna push your knife right into the avocado, but you're gonna get resistance, right? Because that pit is in there. If you just take your knife very carefully, follow it all the way around the avocado till you reach the other side and just twist. See what we have here? The avocado side there, pit side here. You could take a little smaller knife or a spoon, if knives kind of worry you, and poke this out. A thing that chefs do is pull that knife. Well, of course it didn't work when I tried to do it. You slam your knife down, it goes right into the pit, and you can pull it out. But of course that's not going to work for me when I try it for you. But that's how you can get the pit out of the avocado. When we're slicing, you can keep your avocado in its shell here, and then we're just going to make some lines. Not through the skin, right down to the skin. The skin is tough, so it's not going to, use a light hand, but it's going to let you just kind of poke right through. So I made some lines there. I'll make a couple this way as well. You're going to think this is neat, I think. Take a little plate here. And then you just kind of gently squeeze this out of the shell, push it out. Oh, and you are going to have your avocado pieces already kind of cut up here. And then you don't have to peel the skin off or anything. You just kind of pop it out. So that's nice.
That's handy.
That is handy.
That's good.
That looks wonderful. Show that to the camera. That's exactly how that should look.
Perfect.
So what we will do now is assemble our tostadas.
Awesome.
I am going to put a layer of refried beans, of course, and you should probably use sort of a light hand with this. These beans are warmed up, so they're a little softer, but of course this is a corn shell, so it could snap pretty easily. That doesn't mean it's not going to still taste delicious if it snaps. Of course it will. can fold it over and make yourself a sandwich out of it. So I've got a nice layer of refried beans. I think I will take some of this nice chicken here and put that on top. That looks nice. Look at that so far. And see how easy this is just to walk down the street and take a bite? Yeah, I like that. Sprinkle some of this cojita. It's a really good salty cheese. Cojita's really great. It's mild though, so it's not, this does not have a strong flavor. You're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna taste this and be like, oh, it's like something strong like a blue cheese or something. Mm-hmm. Not. It's a very, very mild, just salty white cheese. It's really good. So I've got that on there. I do like avocado, so I'm gonna put a couple pieces on mine.
All right.
What do you think?
I mean, it looks good.
Cheers. Let's taste it. Mm-hmm. That's good.
It's pretty good.
I'd like to buy one of these and walk around shopping.
Same.
Awesome. All right. We'll clean this up and then come back and I'll show you how to make the next dish.
I'm so excited.
Great. Okay, so we have eaten our tostadas,
Mm-hmm.
and now I think we should move on to the next food booth. What do you think?
I think that's awesome. What are we going to get?
We are going to get some Mexican street corn. Now, the most popular Mexican street corn always was something called elotes. Whole cobs of corn on a stick that had been steamed or grilled. They are brushed with mayonnaise, rolled in cojita cheese, then sprinkled with a chili powder and some lime drizzle on top. Sounds very interesting. It's delicious, actually. It's creamy and crunchy and salty and all the good things. But now they are making what is called esquites a lot of the time at these Mexican booths, which is basically elotes in a cup. So you can walk around with a spoon and hold it. It's easier than the cob, right? But it's all the same things, just, you know, you've taken the kernels off of the cob. You are going to mix in some mayonnaise because that is what you put on your, that's like in place of butter, basically. This is what they use, mayonnaise, to hold everything else onto the corn. And you know, mayonnaise is just made from eggs and oil, so it's not, you know, not very different than a butter or something like that. Gonna take this nice cojita that you shredded up, or crumbled up, I should say. Dump that in there. This looks nice. I really like corn. So I think I like corn, and I like mayonnaise, and I like cheese, and I guess I like everything about this, don't I? Now, I thought this was interesting. Typically in Mexico, what you're going to get sprinkled on your esquites or your elote is just chili powder. I found this at the store, elote seasoning, and I was like, what about this? Let's check this out. Yes. This came from Aldi, actually. I know that Trader Joe's sells one as well, but this already has the chili pepper, some dehydrated cheese, chipotle peppers, and cumin in it. So I am going to sprinkle some of this in. It smells, I mean, it smells like what I've used before in elote, so I think we should give that a try. Okay. Come on, little buddy. Shake. There we go.
There you go.
And then we're going to finish with just a little squeeze of lime juice. And, you know, a good tip for any citrus that you're wanting to juice is to put it on a flat surface, and then you're going to roll it with the palm of your hand. That really starts to break it up so you can get a lot more juices going in it. Or if you have a fruit that is really, really hard that you need to juice, pop it in your microwave, honestly, for like 3 or 4 seconds.
Really?
Yeah, and you can get a lot more juice out that way. So that's my little tip. We will slice this nice lime in half and put some of this on top. Do you like limes, Michaela?
I do, and it smells great.
Doesn't it smell great?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fresh. I love summer food for that reason. Just citrus and all the vegetables and things. So let's give you some of that to try. Here is a fork for you.
Okay.
And I want to see if this tastes like the elote that I know. I like it a lot.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. All right, we're gonna come back next with our dessert. Be right back. Okay, so we had our tostadas. Then we went and had our esquites, our street corn. Now I feel like I'm in the mood for something refreshing, light, a little bit sweet. What about you?
I'm so in.
How about we try a Mexican fruit cup?
Yes.
Yes, that sounds so good. We are going to be eating ours off of a plate because I don't have cups to put them in. Same idea, don't worry about it. These are delicious, a little sour, a lot sweet. You're going to like these. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to break down this pineapple. While I'm doing that and talking about it, would you mind using the vegetable peeler to peel this English cucumber for me?
Of course.
Now, I'm using the English cucumber because it's a seedless cucumber. And that will be nicer, less watery in the center. Cucumber are traditionally used in Mexican fruit cups, which might sound funny to us because we always consider the cucumber, a vegetable.
Right.
But if you think about it, and this is strange, but next time you eat watermelon or cucumber, they taste very much alike, but the sugar content is different. So it goes very well with fruits, actually. So we're gonna try it and see what we think.
Alrighty.
But I think it's gonna be good. So if you'll just peel that, and I'll talk about this pineapple here. Pineapple can be intimidating to people to cut. I mean, you buy this thing and you're like, now what? You'd almost rather just buy it already in spears or something, but don't do that because it's easy, and I'm going to show you what to do. Take this guy, lay him sideways on your board. Let me move my mango. Take your nice big chef's knife. We're going to cut the top off. About a good, you want a good part of the top to come off, okay? About there. We don't need that anymore. Now we've got this. We've got our bottom. I'm going to cut the bottom off too. About another ½ inch or so. We'll cut that off and we'll get rid of that. Now we have this sitting here on a nice flat surface. And all we have to do, take our knife, run it down the sides, deep enough in that you get those eyes out. You don't want all of the, see those, all of the little brown spots in there? You don't want all of those eyes showing. You want something kind of like this, like the pure yellow. And I can go back over these little spots and trim it that I missed here. But yeah, this is, just make sure your knife is sharp, and you can, you can always trim it up, but you just go right around the sides. It is not difficult to do. Let's get these pieces out of here. So at this point, you would cut your pineapple into whatever shape you want to at home. For us, I'm going to cut these into spears, okay? Because that's what would sit in a fruit cup. Like there's the cup, and then the fruits are kind of standing up in the cup. So I'm going to lay this on one of its sides here. I will just cut right through the center. And we've got this core right through here. This is edible, but it is pretty fibrous, and you're going to be chewing for a long, long time if you try to eat this. Okay. So the best thing to do is then to quarter this again. So we've quartered it. You leave it sitting on your cutting board, quartered. Just take your knife and at an angle, just go in and cut that out. Don't need it.
How nifty.
How nifty. And then you have this perfect piece of pineapple that I'm going to then cut into, I'll cut a couple for us here. These spears like this, right? So I'll put those on the plate here. I think I am going to do the same with that cucumber here.
Okay.
You did a great job. Thank you. And of course, we know the skin of a cucumber is edible, but for this, it's nice to just have everything peeled, and you know, the skin can kind of be tough to bite through. Also, we're sprinkling a little something on this, so a special something.
A special ingredient?
A special ingredient, yes. So we're going to do spears for this too.
Okay.
I mean, they look like pickle spears, right? But they're not. Okay, we'll do a couple of those in here. I also have a mango that I'm going to cut up. Mango is another fruit that really intimidates people because it has that big flat white pit in the inside. It looks like a disc that like goes through this whole thing. So people look at these and they're like, I don't even want to mess with that. They're not that bad. I mean, we're just gonna hack into it.
Okay.
Well, not really hack, but we're gonna sort of do what we did with the avocado. But see, I'm holding this mango this way, long ways. This pit runs this way, up and down. So I'm gonna cut over here and I'm gonna cut over here.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to feel, once I get in here, where that pit is. Yeah, I'm not running into it, so that's good. Perfect. Perfect. And then I've got this nice piece of mango here, right? Same thing like I did with the avocado. Yes. I'm gonna make these hash marks. This should make it easier to get out. This avocado or this mango is not very ripe, so it might not be the best, but we'll see what we can do. A lot of times you can kind of turn them inside out and get some and just pop them out that way. I guess I could have done these in spears, but I wasn't thinking about it at the moment. So anyways, we've got these pieces of mango that we're going to put over here. Yeah, that's not very ripe at all. Make sure your mango is pretty soft, actually. This one could have used a few more days.
Okay.
Much easier to slice through that way. They're going to be much sweeter. It's going to be better, really. Oh, a lime, because lime is good on everything. We'll do the same thing. We'll roll it, cut it. And then, you know, these fruits would be, watermelon is another one that they use for this. I did not buy a watermelon yesterday. They're not in season yet, and I knew it just wouldn't be a very good watermelon, so I skipped it. Squeeze some lime, and then the exciting part is this product called tahine. Tahine is a Mexican spice blend, so it has some chili peppers, salt, citric acid, dehydrated lime. Very, very, very popular on fruit. I mean, this is made for fruit, essentially. There is a glaze, a kind of a sour glaze called chamoy that a lot of Mexicans put on their fruit as well. And it's like the consistency of honey, but it's red. It's beautiful. And they a lot of times will squeeze this chamoy over top and then sprinkle the tahine. I could not get any chamoy, so I don't have that. But it's not always used. Okay. So the fruit with the tahine is very traditional. So we still are getting traditional. So, okay. Let's sprinkle some of this salty, sour stuff. And I'm going to show that to the camera. See, that looks nice to me.
It does.
I think that looks nice. So try a piece of something. I think I'll try a piece of pineapple.
I was going to go for the pineapple too.
Awesome. Okay, let's see what we think. I like that.
That's really good.
That is really good. You get little bits of that sourness of the
Pretty
citric
sour,
acid. Yeah, it is. Oh, this is delightful. That would be so nice on a hot day walking around. Yeah, so these are the dishes. These are super easy to make at home, you guys. With your parents' help, of course, when you're using knives or anything like that. But I hope that you will make some of these this summer and maybe make them on Cinco de Mayo to celebrate, okay? All right.
All right.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.